Do you know how good it's going to feel, gentlemen, when we start making inroads to getting rid of these criminals? Do you know this is going to make life worth living? It is going to... I'm getting an echo in here. Why am I getting an echo?
It's Robbie's fault.
Pull something down. Pull something down. There we go.
Pull me down.
Yeah. At any rate, it's going to feel so good. And it's going to be worth all the crap and all the heartache and all the heartbreak we've been through. Folks, the time is coming. I mean, be aware of this. I mean, if you take a look at what people did, like Aaron Russo, Freedom to Fascism, do you know how many people have seen that DVD presentation? Millions. More and more people.
And boy, he put a nail in their coffin, let me tell you.
Well, I'm telling you. I mean, and here was a guy that was just this roly-poly Jewish guy that wanted to have fun and produce movies until somebody tried to pull the rug out from under him and his country. And he got pissed. And look what one man did. Imagine when more people come to this party and we get this thing going from just a little simmer to a full rolling on boil. I mean, it's going to be fun, folks. Hang on.
People would march to Wall Street and burn down Goldman Sachs because that's where it all comes from.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the core of the vortex of this whole thing.
Yep.
Well, J.P. Morgan Chase fits with the Fed, and the Treasury is controlled by Goldman, and that's the way it's divvied up. And they own the majority stock, along with Citigroup, of the Federal Reserve and the FOMC. This legislation is staggering. I mean, people just can't realize what we can do with this. It's just monumental.
Can you do me a favor? Update my screen, dear. Can you do me a favor? Can you, and I stopped short of doing this. Now, you do Alex Jones's show on Genesis Communications Network, Bob.
Every Friday.
Every Friday. Can you do me a big fat favor? Because I don't want to have people calling into his show. But can you just please mention the fact that he should have the authors on of They Own It All, including you? If Alex Jones...
all you have to do is put it in an email to me, tell me what to say, and anything that I should know, and I will do that.
Because
it won't be this Friday because we're not going to go up on Friday.
Right. Well, and I explained to Alex before. I mean, these people have contacted him. I've contacted Alex. I said, look, they're not going to drag up the Jewish Banker International. I said, because I know you don't like to go there. I said, these guys are safe, okay? It's the information that's important. And your 9/11 truthers, of which you got tens of thousands of them out there, we need to shift them off of it was an inside job to the real inside job. It is about the banks. That's why I don't take or entertain any more calls on 9/11 issues or anything else any more than I'm going to be talking about the assassination of JFK. I mean, it is...
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen so long as Charlie Sheen is in the background.
Well, and dear Charlie, I'd like to get a hold of him for a little while, and say, hey, Charlie, let me sit down and tell you a real story here. And it's great that these people do this. They lend their celebrity. There's a certain amount of danger for them doing that, and I applaud them for jumping. But let's do something that's going to really matter. I mean, 9/11 is an inside job. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody in this country that can think straight, that doesn't see inherent problems with the whole damn thing. But that's something that we're not going to know until we start either kneecapping or dragging these people into court, okay, as to who, what, where, when, and why, and then we'll be able to have some meted justice. But until that time, let's get on with the issues here, the real core issues that's dragging and choking this country to death.
That's why auditing the Fed will never come about, in my humble opinion, because it'll open up too many cans of worms. First of all, it would require a audit of Fort Knox, and as each day goes by, Bob, that tungsten story just makes more logical sense.
Well, there's another thing that's going to bring up as well, which is even more important than whether the gold's there or not, because there's gold there, whether it's phony gold or not, I don't know, but I do know that there's bars there because one of our subscribers just retired from the military, and his detail was one of the ones that guarded it. But what we're going to find out is the relationship and the operations of the Federal Reserve and the Treasury using the President's working group in financial markets. That's going to blow everything right up in the air.
Yeah, but it would also obviously expose the Economic Stabilization Fund that is used very liberally by presidents, and you only need 2 signatures to use those funds. That's the Treasury
subsidiary of the Treasury.
Yeah.
And they've got about $600 billion in that fund right now, and they leverage that as well.
Yeah, no wonder they.
And it was formed in 1934 to help maintain the value of the dollar, and of course, it's turned into a monster.
And what I can't understand is all this talk of Jamie Dimon replacing Tim Geithner.
Yeah. And Bernanke's
we've got to look at, if we're going to get rid of Timmy, we have to have another Zionist in there.
You got it, brother. And Bernanke, he's got 1 more year left on the chairmanship of the Fed, and they've already been asking for his resignation.
Yeah.
Just
straight up and out in the open.
Bingo. And I think what is actually starting to happen here is that the message is being heard very clearly in Washington, D.C., although they're not acknowledging it. They're feeling the heat, because out here, man, we're just burning bright of fire. They can feel the heat all the way to D.C. Now, they can get on with their crony crook friends, or they can step out of that and help the American people. Or, better still, allow it to happen, get out of the way. Just get out of the way. If you don't want to put anything on the line, you just stand out of the way and then retire from politics and disappear. But don't try to jam it. Terry in Texas. Hello, Terry.
Oh, well, I better hang up. You've got other callers. I'll make my one quick comment. I've heard and read that said that everyone goes through 3 stages in life: learn, earn, and return. So therefore, I want to thank the 3 of you. And also, in the sense of you're all in the return part of your life, you're returning all the things you learned and you earned. You're returning that back to other people. And on your ends, you must all get a great deal of satisfaction of being, and in particular with Bob being a little bit older, must get a great deal of satisfaction in being in this position and being able to do that.
Well, these guys have the luxury, and I was talking to somebody earlier today that is he deals with Hollywood. He's a property master for Hollywood Films. He's worked with Linklater down here in Austin and Rodriguez, and he's out in Los Angeles right now. Is trying to get his own movies produced. And he and I were talking, and I told him, I said, look, I said, until such time that people are willing to come out, first of all, you got to create an environment that is safe enough that allows everybody to join the party, okay, that the price of admission is not going to be too pricey and too dicey in which to join said party. And I said, other people have the luxury. And I said, I do not. I'm in this. Bob Chapman, you're in your 70s. Robbie, we won't tell him how old you are. I thought for first, when you were talking about going back to South Africa, that you were going to do the elephant, the long march to die home.
Yep.
Buddy, you ain't going nowhere. At any rate, I told him, I said, look, I've got to come up with $300,000 a year to put this out there every day, every week, every month. It's not as easy as just coming up and doing a program with these fine gentlemen. My real work, and it stifles me sometimes because I do my own programming on this network. But the show that you're listening to right now is the highest rated out of all the shows on this network. Any day of the week, any time of the day, it's the highest rated show. And it is for a reason. It is for a reason. But I don't have the luxury of just dropping back and doing a show. I got to pay the bills to this thing. And we are the proper mechanism at the right time in this nation's history. We need some help. We need some real help. These people that have got their hands in their pockets and they're looking up at the sky, just looking around, rolling their eyes, not doing anything. Commit yourself. Commit yourself to the restoration of this country before it becomes so chaotic that you're homeless and you're jobless and the only thing you're thinking about is how do I put food in my stomach so I can survive for another day. This is the time, right now. Right now. Sylvia in New York. Hello, Sylvia.